left it in the paint, bitch. I know you're gonna hate, bitch. But you ain't got shit on me. Guys, society's dumber than ever. So we're back with some ancient wisdom. Word of the day is panacea. Ooh. It's not only a word, but it's also a Greek goddess. It's the goddess of curing all. You have now become educated. You're wiser. I want you guys to watch this this video that I watched about catcalling. We'll just watch the whole thing. It's like a minute and a half.
It's a disturbing fact of life for too many women getting hassled on the street.
You can turn the
I get catcalls everywhere, every day of my life, especially when I run.
We were with Amber.
I don't
when she
buy
went
it,
for a
dude.
jog.
These bitches.
That's an interesting jog. Full of makeup and a choker.
He yelled,
Oh my
To say something to this young lady when she ran by a minute ago?
I actually did.
So also,
Honestly, as
Look
a
at this
person-
weird run she's got going
keep your
on.
cat calls to yourself.
What is that run?
Oh my God.
She should have just married that first guy. I've never seen a man so in the moment and astute. You got to find him on Venice Beach. But he said, you're full makeup, a choker, and that you have an interesting jog. That dude is in it.
Yep.
You know, I think that's just what guys were like 20 years ago, like normal.
Yeah,
before the
regular
internet.
people.
The regular people.
He
before
seriously seemed curious. He's like, why are you jogging in makeup and a choker? That doesn't make sense. How did the world get to the way it is? Well, this is how it started.
Foreigners who live in your land will gain more and more power, while you gradually lose yours. They will have money to lend you, but you will have none to lend them. In the end, they will be your rulers.
Ooh, Deuteronomy, dude, aka the Torah. I don't know why I said it like that.
And
So
you
this
won't
is
be
the
able to
very
do
beginning
anything.
of the Bible. This is the origins of monotheism. That's how it started. But here's how it ends.
Behold, I will make those of the synagogue of Satan who say that they are Jews and are not, but lie. Behold, I will make them come and bow down before your feet, and they will learn that I have loved you.
Man.
Oh, Revelation, dude. This tells us how times will end. And they speak of fake Jews, people that say they're religious and are not.
You don't hear these pastors reference this verse very often.
Perhaps by design. I saw this commercial the other day on X or something like that. It was a woman wearing underwear. Can't get away from these ads. That's all the ads now. And the selling point was, your man is going to throw away his video games once he sees this. And I'm thinking to myself, what does that mean? You're so sexy in the underwear, your man's going to throw away his video games to fuck you 24/7? Have you seen these bitches? I swear the memes are out of control. She does a sexy move, she twerks, she wears practically no clothes, and then the label says, me or a PS5?
Why do they think that a statement has more impact if they write it on their body like that?
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean, she's objectifying herself. You could see it. Like, why are you naked writing it on your
she's the
body? You can't hold
canvas.
up a sign? You're the one that's naked right now, which leads me to my point. Objectifying women, me or a PS5. So you're putting yourself in the PS5 category? I could play you and put you away? I think of like the Pink song, just you in your hand tonight. That's all the value you have. You're objectifying yourself.
That's what that song says?
Yeah, just you in your hand tonight. She's mad. So she's like, that's what the song is.
she's
Like,
not
you're going to
giving
jerk
it up.
off tonight because I'm not fucking you. Because that's all I'm good for. Because I'm no better than a PS5.
They're telling on
Bitches do it
themselves.
to themselves.
They're saying how they've been perceived lately, and then they're showing the world that this is how I've been perceived.
And it's like,
as a set of
what
rules.
other good do you have? What else can you bring to the relationship? I remember your favorite joke, Patrice O'Neal, dog, when he's like, all right, if you lost your pussy in a tragic accident, what would you do? He's asking the audience. Blowjobs. Use my butthole. And then you classified yourself as a series of holes. You did this. There's no learning how to tell a good story. There's no becoming interesting. Speaking of history or fun things, you're doing this to yourself. So I don't get it. I'm pretty upset about that.
Women
Yes.
objectify us more
It
than
goes
we
back
do
to
them.
the makeup bitch at the beginning too. Nobody likes people in makeup. I don't get it. And they can't seem to separate these two concepts of someone you fuck and someone you marry. I don't get that. Doesn't that seem very basic to you guys?
It does.
Like, okay, yeah, I like sluts who wear slutty clothes and a lot of makeup, and then I use them like a PS4. Oh, excuse me, a PS5.
Right.
These
You
are
don't wanna
higher
undersell
graphics.
them.
You don't want to
Yes.
undersell them.
That's right.
That's right. She's
Wisconsin.
worth more than that. What is that, though? I mean, I think they wouldn't get any direct, immediate success, and women are all about instant gratification these days. All right, if you're at least fucking me and I say this is cool, oh, this is a relationship. We are being related right now. We are intertwined right now. You can't keep your hands off me. It's this fake psychological nonsense. You say to yourself, oh, because he is physically with me. Nah, that's not the long term. I saw this one TikTok talking about men will pretend like they don't like makeup, but just keep doing it, ladies. Like, they want it. Yeah, they want to fuck you. Is this not clear?
A man said this?
No, it was a woman.
Oh, classic. Okay.
Yup. Trying to give advice.
I feel like men have this ability to have a physical relationship without emotion. And I don't know if I could say the same for the opposite sex.
Yeah, and it's weird how they're
know?
deluded into thinking that way.
Yeah, and I think, women are cheated by being told that if a guy wants you for sex, he loves you, which is just a primal urge men have. Like, it's like eating.
Yeah,
You know?
I like that you said primal because it does make me think of ancient wisdom. Like, because in the ancient past, if we were fucking, we were in a relationship. That's
Right.
deep. You like that?
Yes. Yep.
Like, that's the only way that it would happen. So naturally, the woman's mind has been wired to think that way. Oh, we are in a relationship. No, this isn't 5,000 years ago because of you. Like, you're the one that did this.
It's so insulting to think that, for them to think that we're only visual creatures, and like that's the only thing we're interested in.
Yeah, and it goes to the whole theme today of just, men are worthless, men are nothing. Yeah, they're visual because of you. You define them that way. Men have invented everything. We're deep. We're also quiet, and we're not as prone to the over emotion as you guys are. How far back do we have to go? Socrates talked about the philosopher king, and that only those who are trained in the art of statehood should even be able to have a say, have a vote, voice their opinions. But like, how far back do we have to go? Civil rights was a huge one. Then we go back to women's rights. And then we go back to even men who don't own land voting. How far back do we have to go?
What is trained in the statehood?
Trained in the statehood is like in his hypothetical society in Plato's Republic, he talks about going from the very beginning to a hypothetical school where you're only trained in battle and statehood, and he only picks the cream of the crop who could even handle that. The 1% of the smartest children go to the 1% of the classroom.
I think that was probably the best method, but I think it's hard to go back to that at this point because
it was always hypothetical in that sense.
Oh, I see.
It's just how he imagined the perfect society, because that's what the whole book talks about. What society is the best?
I've been thinking that no matter which system you pick, like you could pick any system, government system, you'll still have this population of people that just kind of don't freaking care.
Yep.
Like they just like kind of like don't even want to know the system.
Yeah, maybe that's most people, right?
You know, just they don't even
Just
want
wanna live, man.
Yeah, they don't even want to know how the government works. Like, stop. What?
Excuse me while I light my spliff. Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously. But that's why nobody's interested. That's why you said the 1% of the they show aptitude. They're going to be the ones that go to the special hypothetical school, and the top of the top are going to teach them, and they're going to be destined to be king. None of this lineage nonsense. There's no lineage in a kingdom.
But then you have people protesting, saying, "Why did he get why isn't there an equal opportunity kinghood?"
Yeah.
capital punishment.
And I guess that's why it's never perfect, you know, but that's just kind of the best idea that Socrates came up with, talking about the philosopher king. He liked monarchy.
Right.
And a lot of people still argue for monarchy right now, but the worst part is succession.
Right.
Because the son is always a piece of shit.
Because they never rose to the top. They never went from rags to riches.
That's right.
They don't know how to lead. You have to be able to deal with the common man as well as the holy man.
Every time. And it never works because you haven't done it. You haven't seen. You haven't saw. You haven't conquered. You haven't lived. You haven't dealt. You haven't experienced. You know, King David was one of the best, and then he had Solomon, one of the worst.
And I think the landowner thing we couldn't make that work now because there's too many leftists with land that just like marry rich and still vote Democrat.
That's a good point, because like the time changes too, where it's just like, okay, you don't have land, but yeah, you're still going to vote Democrat. You're still going to have this dumb ideology. And then, of course, the elites could run amok and take more control than ever.
And just get more land
Our
for themselves.
power was always in uniting as the plebes. Our power was in our numbers. The poor people could kill that king if he was making too many wrong decisions. But they have perfectly, in my opinion, in modern times, made us so pussified that we'd never even do it. Because my point of last week is this era of absolute gaslighting where down is up. They've done it. They've hired the devil himself to be on their team. And if you could gaslight them so that, nah, you're actually the one in the wrong. That's never been done before.
And we're back.
So I'd like to hit you guys with some ancient quotes today.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going as Eastern this time, but Democritus once said,
Ooh, Western.
yes, very Western, the wrongdoer is more unfortunate than the man wronged.
What did they call it? Victim blaming? Victim shaming? Is that the same thing?
I think so.
Same shit, I guess. Yeah, I don't know, man. You know, my mind says, you know, the victim will heal.
Right.
Unless you break their kneecaps or kill them or something like that. Or, you know, worse.
Oh, so he might be going spiritual with this
Yeah.
one. Spiritually hurt.
You know, I always take it to the spirit. You know me, always philosophical take.
You said the victim will heal, but will the wrongdoer ever heal?
Boom. Deep, Poach, but will the wrongdoer. Will he heal?
Everyone is progressing towards something if you think of it that way. When you're wrongdoing, you're progressing towards more wrongdoing.
Yeah. I think you got to think about it from what perspective, right? Like if we think about it from a religious perspective, okay, the wrongdoer will have his comeuppance. He'll go to hell. Maybe he'll get temporary gain in this world. But maybe you have to live with what you did to this person, because there's something to be said about God. There's something to be said about the spirit, or knowing right from wrong. Where does it come from? Why do we feel this way? Because we're killing ourselves a little bit. If God is a little slice of us, Jesus said, treat your neighbor as yourself. You're doing more damage to yourself.
Yeah, that's the big one. It's going to have to eat at your conscience.
Yeah.
If you're going to.
Do you guys think
do
it's
the
harder to
wrongdoing.
forgive yourself than it is to forgive someone else?
100%.
You
Harder.
feel like you should be more in charge
Most
of yourself.
the time, you don't even know that you're at fault.
Oh.
That's why you can't even forgive yourself without knowing that there's a problem.
Oh, that's a deep one, man. My favorite topic, grace. I feel like that's highly, highly tied together with that. You must see that you have done wrong first. And maybe many don't these days.
That's where most people get stuck.
Yeah.
And
Can't
you know,
even see it.
And what's crazier than that is that people will say that they should admit when they're wrong, but they never do. That's
the
worst one.
holier than thou.
They say that they agree. That's how it should be.
I'm totally open-minded. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it.
Exactly. But that's saying,
Bitch,
if
you never...
you are wrong.
I never heard you
Everyone's
admit
wrong.
that shit in my life.
Exactly.
Yeah, those who do wrong are damaged. That's just a thought.
Hurt people, Mitch.
Boom. As gay as it is, its truth exceeds that. These people, they're damaged themselves. Like, okay, the victim, they could be damaged, but really, it's almost like the victim doesn't exist. Think about it that way, right?
Whoa, it's all about the wrongdoer.
It's all about the wrongdoer. The victim just happens to be there. There will always be a victim.
Victim of circumstance.
Perspective, circumstance. It almost doesn't have to be a reason, because crimes don't require a reason. People just do it. And they're damaging themselves. But there's something to be said. There's something to be said. Some don't have high enough IQ to even have that self-perspective. What do you guys think about that thing they talk about, internal monologues? You ever heard of that one? You ever heard that one?
Actually, when you guys think, do you talk to yourself when you think, or do you just have
That's
a
what it
thought?
means, internal monologue.
So I don't really talk to myself in my mind.
Interesting, Evan.
I only laughed because there was this girl who like went viral for saying like she wrote a book or something saying like I have no internal monologue, and that was like I thought that was kind of hard to believe because I definitely have those thoughts. I have to come back and forth between the present and like in my head.
Yeah.
Like it's several points in time being in the present.
I won't talk to myself, but I may like have like a replay of a movie, like something that I did, and I'll replay it. Or like I don't know, man. Everything is like just pictorial in my head. I don't have like a Poge talking. Okay, now I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna pick this up. No, I see the object and I see myself doing the thing, but I don't have like a words happening.
That sounds better because sometimes I'll actually talk out loud, which I try not to do.
Yeah, interesting. I would like personally split the difference between you guys, or maybe even more on the Poge side that I just kind of do it. It's just sort of instinctual a lot of the time, but commonly it's referred to as a low IQ thing when they say, you don't have any inner monologue, as if you can't see what you're doing. You can't, psychopathic, you can't see how your actions affect others. You can't live the emotional state that's perceived by someone else. But I don't know if that's true. It might be one of those bell curve things. The low IQ, the middle, and then the high IQ, you don't have it anymore.
I would argue if you don't have an internal monologue, you're more like you can see the person's emotional state better. Like you'll remember the situation, you'll remember what the person looked like, how their face reacted, not so much what they said.
Everybody uses these stupid phrases, these stupid things they learn in psychology class. Oh, internal monologue.
The love
blah,
languages,
blah, blah, blah,
emotional
blah.
intelligence.
Yeah, emotional intelligence, constant improvement officers. What the fuck is that?
Continuous
Our
improvement.
favorite. But I think it's all BS. Yeah, I don't know.
Got another one from Democritus for you.
Oh, yeah.
We know nothing in reality, for truth lies in the abyss.
You know, I couldn't agree more with you, Democritus. You must go into the abyss because that's where the fruit is. That's where the sweet nectar is. But that's where the dragon is, man. You got to face the dragon. You got to come out the other end. But nothing ventured, nothing gained. There's a quote. I won't say the Latin because I don't remember it, frankly. But Carl Jung would say, in filth it is found.
Whoa.
You got to dig through the shit, and that's where the most prized treasure lies.
Man, that's deep.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Live your life in Happy Town? These lies that they weave in their head like internal monologues.
Wow, they're trying to convince themselves that they can be happy all the time.
Yes.
That high can never end.
I like that a lot because then nothing is ever real. It's always a convincing.
Right.
It's always just a monologue. I'm always talking about it. And it's sort of like be careful what you wish for or be careful what you say you want. I think that's part of it as well because everybody wants to be a genius, right? You talk to any kid, any person, oh yeah, I'm smart. First of all, they just say they're smart. And then if not, they'll say, yeah, I love intelligence. I love an intelligent man. But are you out here reading books? Are you out here like watching documentaries? Are you learning a new skill? Or is that just something you say? You got to learn more about yourself to know about the world. It's a mirror.
I'd also like to plug Bob Ross.
Oh, yes.
You have to go out on a limb because that's where the fruit is.
Damn. I think that's him saying the same thing. All these philosophers have said it in their own ways. Democritus was the ancient Greek thought, so it's funny that he talks about the abyss. It was constantly in reference to Hades, a literal dark pit of hell. And of course, Nietzsche was highly influenced by the Greek thought, so he used it as well. He said, if you stare long enough into the abyss, it stares back at you. You have to learn through the abyss. It looks at you. You realize the abyss is a living creature. You realize you have to go out on the limb like Bob Ross. It might not be steady. You might not be comfortable with this place, but that's how you learn. Otherwise, you're staying back home. You don't get the fruit.
Juicy, tasty pear at the end of the line.
You don't get the juice without it, baby. You don't get the juice without squeezing a few lemons. You know what I mean?
But then you also got to realize that there's a time after you eat that fruit where you're going to be wanting another one again. So don't want it too bad where you'll fall off the limb and die.
Damn.
And I think these are kind
Don't be too fruity is what Evan's saying.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what else comes from ancient China?
Oh. What's that?
Mitch's translation of the Tao Te Ching. Yeah.
From the house.
I know, I made it.
It's like,
Honored guest.
I know, I made it.
Like, Mitch, is that you? I just left you in America. Tao Te Ching, chapter 30. Use the Tao to assist God, not the soldiers below heaven. Such matters tend to rebound. Where troops reside, thorns spring up. Where large armies have been, terrible famine follows. A good man is resolute and no more. He ventures not to take by force. Resolute, not boastful. Resolute, not arrogant. Resolute, not proud. Resolute when there is no choice. Resolute, not violent. Things flourish and then grow old, but those who are not of the Tao last only the morning. Wow. And of course, last only the morning has been translated as you don't live very long.
That's one of the most hardcore yet.
It's very hardcore. It's based off of this soldier mentality. Are you doing it for God or are you doing it of earthly? The highest form of the earthly doings is the soldier, I think. Would you say?
Yes.
It's forcing your way, forcing the hand as opposed to just assisting God's way.
You think you're like playing a game on God too by trying to assist the worldly people or things in the world. Because
the trick of the mind.
He knows and you know that only he can save souls. So why are you even trying?
Supposedly.
Supposedly.
Those who are a little more, you have to be a little awakened to even know that, really.
Right.
It's not obvious. But really, those who assist God, use the Tao to assist God and not the soldiers below heaven, because matters tend to rebound. It's straight up. It says, hey, this is going to come back on you. Like you said, do you realize that my choices keep getting rebounded on myself? The more I push, the more it pushes against me.
Yeah, it sounds like it's almost telling you it's destructive to fight that, to try to be a force for good.
Very true. It's almost like asking, like, have you not noticed this in your own life? Because if you look, I think you will find it.
Yes. Every time I've tried to force my will on something that I think is good to happen, totally backfires.
Oh man, me and Poj were talking about the eternal curse of the musician. The best take is never recorded.
Yep.
Maybe because you force it, maybe it's just a law of the universe, or maybe God requires the fatted calf without blemish.
And maybe that music that was undiscovered is the most beautiful to God because it wasn't in the presence of any other people you're trying to make God, or hear this beautiful creation that is only possible through the Tao.
Oh yeah, so true, right? Doing it for the right reason. That's always a big one too. Why are you doing it? Because I like it. Not because you like it or any other reason. Where troops reside, thorns spring up. Where large armies have been, terrible famine follows.
This to me is saying that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Because the troops are there to pick up arms and defend. You know, that's typically when we think of weapons, we think of self-defense and self-preservation.
Right.
But if it's done with bad intentions, the thorns are still there. The bad roots, the evil intentions behind everything are actually what's flourishing, not the troops, you know. Well, the troops are defending, quote unquote. Thorns are growing at their feet and destroying them.
It's almost the thorns and the famine are the only thing that's real. Like, what do you accomplish besides bringing up the thorns? That's interesting.
Right, in fighting, what do you bring but famine?
Right.
You know, you could have prosperity right here and right now, but you're going out there to destroy, but destroying is not creating, so you're dying.
And it rebounds on oneself. Good leads to good, evil leads to evil. I'm reminded of the quote For whoever has, to him more shall be given, and he will have an abundance. But whoever does not have, even what he has shall be taken away.